Good evening and welcome to Ideas at Work and Beyond. We have a special show tonight. It's a little bit of everything. We're starting with Marge Gallo, who is the Democrat Register of Voters in Danbury. And we're going to be going over with sort of show and tell. We have some of these machines. We also have Ken Gucker on the line for the second half of the show. He's going to be running for City Council in the 2nd Ward. And we have a little bit of an announcement. Ivan, I don't know if I mentioned this, but our guest for next week, Ed Tuccio, has dropped out of the race.
Chickened out.
I think he chickened out, that's right. And we're a little concerned. You know, I'm more concerned about not having a guest for next week, although I think I'd like to challenge him to join us on the show next week and answer, you know, to answer the question, what's up? What happened? What happened? So we're going to try and do that. But first, we're just so thrilled to have Marge Gallo here, and thanks a lot for coming out.
Thanks for inviting
And thank you for bringing
My
your
setup.
machines and everything. And we had talked about this a little bit before. Why don't you just share with the vast television audience
Sure.
about these new machines and why they are the key to the future of democracy in Fairfield County. Go ahead.
All right. With the Help America Vote Act, all the lever machines have been scrapped. They're outdated.
None of those machines that go cha-ching,
No,
cha-ching.
none of the ones that everybody loves.
I like those.
Everybody likes them.
Gives me a sense of power.
That's
You know,
right.
chink, 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 and then you cha-ching. All right.
Well, we're moving along with technology.
Okay.
We've modernized.
Okay.
Okay? This is actually our new voting machine.
Great.
This, I actually have a ballot. I'll show you. This is one that's already been filled out.
Okay.
Okay? You're going to walk up and you're going to vote it.
Okay.
It drops it into the ballot box.
Okay.
You're on your way. If
Good.
there is a recount, we just take everything that's in the back of the box,
All right.
we run it through again. That is our paper trail.
Okay, so we
That-
have a backup.
We have a backup. That is
Okay.
one of the requirements of the Help America Vote Act, to have a paper trail.
Okay. Okay.
That's one of the reasons why we changed.
All right.
Okay? This over here we have is our privacy booth.
Privacy booth. Okay.
When you come in to vote, you get your name crossed off the list.
Okay.
You're given
And there's one Democrat and one Republican. Register of voters.
Yes,
Okay.
register of
Okay.
voters.
And they cross-reference that. Okay.
Right. Okay. Now, when you go in to vote, you get your name crossed off the voters list. You're given a blank ballot.
Okay.
I'll give one to you.
All right.
You're going to come over to your privacy booth.
All right.
We're going to have a pen already in the privacy booth.
See that?
And what you're going to do, you're
Now,
going
this is just
to...
a normal felt pen. This isn't a number 2 pencil
No, it's a
or
normal
a
felt
little thing
pen.
we have to fill it all in.
No.
Okay.
And what you're going to do is you're going to color in the bubble whomever you would like to vote for.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I happen to notice the sheet that you put in, the bubbles weren't necessarily filled in. They were just X'd off. But it accepted it and
Right.
it was okay.
As long as there's a mark in the middle of the bubble, the
Okay.
machine will read it.
Okay.
We have had people that will circle around the little bubble.
Right.
The machine will not read it. It will reject the ballot, and then you will be given another ballot. You'll take this over to our ballot clerk. They give you what they call another ballot. They stamp
Okay.
this as a spoiled ballot.
Spoiled ballot.
So then you have to revote your ballot.
I see. Okay.
They will
So should I go ahead?
go right
Okay,
ahead.
now I understand this is a test ballot from Westport,
Yes, it is.
right? So I really have no affection.
No, you don't know who they
Generally
really are.
speaking, am partial to the Republican Party as a rule, taxes and all, you know. So, okay, I will vote. I'll mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
We'll give a nod to the petitioning candidate. Okay. Now I've filled it in.
Okay.
Okay, then now would I take it over?
You would take it over. We also
Okay.
have what we call privacy envelopes.
Okay, so we're going from the privacy booth with the privacy envelope.
You
Okay.
put your ballot in the privacy. You then walk that over.
Okay,
You then take out your ballot and you run it through the machine.
can be up or down, doesn't matter.
Any way you want to.
Okay, and then it went
Okay.
through.
And it went through.
Okay. You know, all of us that lived through the Florida vote.
Yes.
I mean, that to me was a nerve-wracking time. I mean, here there's this huge build-up to a presidential election It's razor thin margin, and it comes down to some. I mean, I don't think they looked exactly
No.
like this, but
Hanging
they had this
sheds.
push pin
Right.
things. I was talking with my wife about this before tonight, and I said we're going to be talking about a voting machine and what about pregnant chads or how does it work? And there's pictures of guys holding it up to the light. This system will deny all of that. This system
Absolutely.
will allow it. Okay.
I actually have some that have already been voted,
Okay.
circles colored in,
Right.
just to show you.
Yeah, we actually have it, I think, on the air. It's a standard
Right.
ballot. I think it's on the air right now,
Right.
which is, to me, looks pretty, normal. You got your Republican line, Democrat line,
Right.
Save Westport
And-
now, I guess,
right.
or what have
Minor
you.
parties.
You have all those lines on there, so that looks pretty
On
standard.
the bottom, you also have, if you want a write-in vote,
Okay, so you
If-
write someone's name in,
yeah, you would
Okay.
color in the bubble corresponding to the office,
right?
and then you would write the name in underneath. If it is
Okay.
a recognized candidate, they will get the vote.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay, now why is this a better system than those old metal
Because we
clunky
now
ones?
have paper backup, a paper trail.
In those old machines, you wouldn't have.
We did not.
It would just kind of...
Just the
tick
numbers on the back would just keep ticking over. Every time you pulled the lever, open and or closed and then open,
over. Right.
that's what recorded the votes.
Okay. Okay. And now, when you had that machine where it just clicked on and recorded
Mm-hmm.
the votes, the other was the push pin voting, and there, for better or worse, you did have a paper backup, but the technology
Right.
was incomplete.
There's when you're holding it up,
Yeah.
you really couldn't determine the intent of the voter
Right.
at times.
Yeah, what was the? Yeah, that was the term. It was the intent of the voters, and you had to divine the intent of the voters. What were they complaining? Okay, so this way you have a backup.
And
Great.
we also use these same ballots for absentee ballots. So whether you vote at the polls or you vote
Okay.
absentee, you get the same ballot. They will
So
be
now-
a different color for absentee.
Okay.
And then we have the absentee counters that have a machine just like this,
Okay.
and they just run all the ballots through the machine.
Okay. Very interesting. I think we have our phone number up on the television screen. If you'd like to call in, the number is 792-4101. The number again is 792-4101. We're talking to some other folks about these, some of these high-tech computer tabulated machines. The concern is, the conspiracy theory always is, well, how can this be somehow tampered with? How can the results be fudged with? Is there any way, or is this actually a safer way to tabulate votes?
We feel this is safer.
Okay.
The Secretary of the State's office has worked with Diebold. They have built-in safeguards.
Now,
They have
what was the name you just called it?
the Secretary,
No.
Diebold.
Diebold. Okay, Diebold is
They
the
make the,
manufacturing
yes,
machine.
of the machine.
Okay. Hold on one second. We have a couple
Okay.
calls coming in. We'll take line 2. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi,
Hello.
Marge and Marty.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Fine, it's interesting what I'm watching. I had a question, though. One, when you have a two-sided ballot, how does it read that? I know Danbury is going to have some ballots on the backside of the ballot.
Yes.
And, oh, Lord, the other question went out of my head.
We'll take the first one first, and then you get the other
Okay.
one on the other side. But
All right.
two-sided ballots.
Two-sided ballot, it's no problem for the reader. It has centers on the top and underneath when you, let me find one that's already been voted. Although it's a one-sided ballot, if I put it in upside down, it still gets red, or if I put in right side up, it gets red. So therefore, if it's a two-sided ballot, it reads both of them at the same time,
Reads
and it records the votes.
Wow. Okay, because I know in Ridgefield we will usually have a number of different referendum items.
Yes.
Do we want to buy this property? Do we want
Right.
to, do a capital, a new roof for the school, so, things like that. So it becomes pretty complicated. So you can use both sides. Okay, caller, did you have the other question?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good.
I had heard that for the last week before an election, if you're going to be out of town and you don't want to do an absentee, can you come in and vote in the town clerk's office?
No, we don't have that yet. You can only vote absentee.
And by the way, Marge Gallo has been a Democratic Register of Voters for 10 years. Every 2 years, she has to go back out to the voters for re-election. So she's won elections 5 years, or 5 different election cycles. So she would know these answers.
Yes, she is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Caller, you're in the air.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I'm calling to recommend all the listeners do a little research about Diebold on the internet.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what's up with Diebold? What's going on?
Well,
Is it a front for the Democrats or the Republicans? What, come on. Spill the beans, would you?
Democrats and Republicans are two sides of the same coin.
I think the Trilateral Commission has a hand in Diebold's too, but that's another website. But go ahead, what have you found?
Well, my name's Amir. I'm an information technology security consultant.
Okay.
And I've analyzed these Diebold machines firsthand.
I see.
And I'm sad to say that, like the rest of their machines, they have absolutely no integrity. And that's why they're being used. And I'm sad to say that that specific machine has absolutely no verifiability and no auditing ability. And for anybody who's interested in reading about that, all they have to do is go online, go into Google Video, type in voting machines, voting fraud, and you'll see these actual machines, specifically Diebold, being hacked. And specifically the Scantron type machine, they try to sell it off as being a simple computer, being a small little chip that, you know, takes care of everything. But what people don't know is Diebold programs that chip just a week to 2 weeks prior to the election. So chain of custody is completely broken, and I'm sad to say that who's ever trying to implement these systems is fully aware of the fraud going on within Diebold. I've questioned them personally, and it's a sad day.
Well, Amir, let me ask you, just to kind of turn the question back to you, do you prefer the old type of machines, the ones that tabulated, it's almost like an odometer inside each individual machine? It seemed like there was ways you could tamper with that as well.
The touchscreen machines, those...
Touchscreens are good, you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Okay, well, we got to vote somehow, Amir. Work with me on this. Give me something.
My recommendation would be to stay with the lever machines because there's not enough time to verify these machines. But technology is actually on our side. Technology is neutral, and it can be used to secure these elections. But sadly, it's being used for the exact opposite. It's being used for disenfranchisement. And to say the least, these machines would make it very easy to target voting precincts, voting polls, to disenfranchise them. They don't have any protection for overstuffing, which would be easily implementable with a serialized ballot. They have no on-screen confirmation. I mean, the whole thing is just, it's eerie. It's 1984. And from my personal observation, and I've been in the military, Air Force intelligence, I have to say that these machines have absolutely no security on them. So why aren't these questions being asked? I mean, these are computers. We're talking about the internet age. People can steal your credit card information over the internet. What makes you think that these devices are so secure? See what I'm saying?
Amir, I mean, this is a very public forum, and I think you've presented some concerns, and appreciate the call very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, those are, you see, I knew it.
Yes.
Even before we started, that was not a staged phone call. I think maybe the Iraqis have it the best, with the finger in the purple dye. To me, at least you know that it's one vote, one person. But somehow I don't think there are going to be a lot of, Danbury residents that are going to be walking around with purple dye. Oh, we have a DVD to show regarding this. Okay, but before we get to the DVD, just real quick, what about what Amir had to say? Diebold is in the pocket of some higher force, and there's no integrity here, and 1984, Orwellian. What's your reaction?
We believe in the machine.
Okay.
Okay? This is what has been approved for us. This is what we are using. And we feel it's going to work for us.
Okay. And you don't put a lot of credence into some of these concerns?
No, I don't.
Okay. We have another question from our studio audience. How is this going to affect? Is this going to make it easier or more difficult for seniors to get out and vote?
I think for seniors, it's going to be fear of the machine, of a
Okay.
new machine, of change.
Okay.
The Secretary of the State and everyone that you've talked to said, if someone can fill out a lottery ticket, they can fill out a ballot.
Seems very
You
straightforward
just
to me.
color in the bubbles, that's
Yeah.
all, and then you just drop it through the tabulator.
Right.
That's it.
And so it should be just as easy
Right.
for the seniors as well.
None of the rules have changed. If someone needs assistance voting, they certainly are welcome to bring someone with them to help them.
Okay. And the registered voters will be there. They'll be informed on the system. Tell them fill in the bubble, don't circle
We
it.
will
all
not
those
be there. We'll be in our office because we have 7 different polling places.
Okay, but I mean, there are
we
poll
have-
watchers
yes,
at each
we have
place.
moderators and 2 assistant registrars that will be there to help anyone.
Okay.
We will also have greeters. We will have demonstrators. We will have, our machine tenders will walk around, so they'll make sure that everything flows smooth.
Okay.
And there's people there to answer your questions.
All right. I understand we have a DVD, which are we going to roll that right now? And then are we going to come back, or is that... Well, okay. Okay. So we're
Today
gonna
is
roll that
Election
DVD.
Day, and your municipality is now using optical scan voting machines. This short presentation will show you how simple it is to use the optical scan paper ballot. After you check in at the polling place, the ballot clerk will give you your paper ballot to cast your vote. Take a moment to make sure that your ballot has no stray marks on it before you begin. You may now go to one of the privacy booths in the polling place where you'll find a felt pen for your use. The ballot looks like a standardized test or lottery ticket. It has ovals next to candidates' names. It'll have instructions about how many candidates you may vote for in each specific race. Review your ballot carefully and thoroughly. Take the time to completely blacken the oval next to the candidate you have selected. Remember to vote only for the number of candidates allowed for each office. If you wish to enter a write-in vote, simply locate the blank area provided on the ballot. Then, fill in the oval corresponding to that write-in vote area. Clearly write the name of the write-in candidate on the blank space. Remember that only certified write-in candidates will be counted. Once you've finished filling in your selections, privacy folders are available for your use. The ballot is one-sided, which makes it easy to keep private. Place your ballot in the optical scanner where it will be accepted. A worker will assist you if there's any problem with your ballot running through the machine, or if you need additional assistance. Thank you for coming today and making sure your vote counts. A message from the Office of the Secretary of the State.
Well, Marge Gallo, I want to thank you again for coming in.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for bringing in these,
Equipment?
new machines. In a minute, you're going to say where Danbury residents. Let me just put in a quick plug. Ridgefield Town Hall. The phone number is 431-2700. 431-2700, and you can always ask for Hope Wise. She's the Republican Register of Voters, and I'm sure there's a Democrat Register of Voters as well. If you have any questions about these machines, I know for Ridgefield we used these machines in the last election, and I didn't hear anything but rave reviews
Right.
for it. So it seemed to be a very fair way and easy to do it. But you were going to say in Danbury where they
In
can
Danbury,
get
if
in
you
touch
need
with
to contact us, we are at 797-4550.
797-4450. Hold on one second. We have one other caller. Yeah, caller, you're on the air.
How you doing tonight?
Good.
Okay, I've got a question for you. The paper on that quick video you just showed was stuck into the machine, and the person that did it left. What happens with that paper?
Good question. Marge?
Okay, it stays in the machine. At the end of the night, the moderator declares the polls closed. They shut down the actual tabulator, and then they take out the ballots in the back of the machine, and they bring them back to City Hall, and we must keep those records on file. They're also sealed for 22 months.
All right, so all those little the bullets that are filled out, if there has to be a
Recount?
all those papers can be pulled out and the recount can be done?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Great,
welcome.
thanks. And again, that's what we were talking earlier. That's really the quantitatively vast improvement
Right.
over that other machine where it's just recording it in the machine.
Right.
This has a paper backup. You don't
yes.
have to look if the Chad's pregnant, punctured,
Right.
or otherwise. It's very clear, so you have a backup in case there needs to be a recount.
Right.
All right, well, listen, thank you again.
Thank you.
You want to give that number one more time where Danbury
Sure.
residents? Go.
797-4550.
Great. And everyone, please come out and vote this coming November, and please stay tuned. We're going to come back with Ken Gucker, who is going to be running for the 2nd Ward of the City Council. Thanks again. Good job. Now, I think they cut off.